Good afternoon. We welcome the new CEO of SCORE, Bridget Weston, and two remarkable individuals who have extensive experience as mentor and mentee. They will talk to us about the importance of mentoring, finding the right fit for both mentee and mentor so you can benefit by their wisdom, past successes, and past mistakes. As a small business owner myself, I have experienced a need for mentors my entire career, and they can be an incredible asset to have in your arsenal of tools and expertise. As we believe this is a timely topic, as many of us have had to reinvent our businesses in the new COVID environment that is certainly here to stay for a while. Before we begin, I want to welcome our chairman, Hector Barreto, to provide introductions. Hector?
Thanks everybody for being on the webinar. We really appreciate your time and very excited about having Bridget and the panelists with us today. I just wanted to talk very briefly about why we did TLC MatchPoint. Many of you know that our organization, the Latino Coalition, has been around for now more than 25 years. And we've always endeavored to help small business get access to the tools that they need to succeed. And obviously, contracts is one of those very important tools. I'm always reminded, small businesses like to say that we need the same thing that big business needs. We need more business. And if we can get more business, we can take care of a lot of the other things ourselves. I also learned this when I was at the SBA. I was fortunate to be part of two presidential administrations. And I learned that small businesses needed access to these opportunities. They didn't expect anybody to hand them a contract, although that would have been very nice. They're willing to work for it, to learn, to get ready so that they could take advantage of the opportunities, not only at the government level, but also with corporate America. Some of you might remember that during those years, we would do business matchmaking events where we would actually have the buyers and the sellers come together. But those events were not as many as we would have liked to have done. They were very time consuming to do them. You had to get on a plane and fly someplace and spend a lot of time and money. And now with technology, we're really able to do virtual matchmaking. And that's what TLC MatchPoint is all about. On our last webinar, we talked about how the system works and we encourage people to sign up for it. But we also said there are many things that small businesses will be able to get access to. They'll be able to get access to information. They'll be able to get access to inspiration. They'll get ideas on how to take their business to the next level. And so as we do these webinars, we're going to invite thought leaders to come and be with us and help us to understand some of the issues that other small businesses are facing and some solutions and strategies around how to navigate this very abnormal time in our nation's history and the economy of our country. We know that we'll get to the other side of this, but we'll get to the other side of it quicker if we work together, if we learn from each other, if we help each other. And that's what these webinars are about. That's what TLC MatchPoint is about. And so we couldn't be more excited to bring it to you. We're going to continue doing these webinars, so stay tuned. Let other people know as well. We're also recording them so that people can come back and watch them later on. And if they miss something, they're able to get some information or some referrals that they needed. So with that, I'm going to turn it over in just a moment to our moderator and our special guest. And I couldn't be happier to invite a friend, Bridget Weston, who many of you know is the CEO of SCORE. And Bridget has been with SCORE for many years and has done pretty much everything that you could do at SCORE. She's been involved in the planning, she's been involved in marketing, in systems, and new concepts, new plans. And a lot of times people don't realize, I learned this when I was at the SBA, that SCORE is like the secret weapon for small business. And a lot of times people don't realize that SBA touches hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of small businesses every year. But a lot of that is being done through SCORE and the SCORE counselors and all of the programs and all of the great information that they share. I will tell you something else that we learned when we were back at SBA, and that is, unfortunately, we lose 50% of our small businesses within the first 4 years. And it's not because they're not smart or they're not working hard or they don't have good ideas. A lot of times they simply don't know what they don't know. And if you help them get their arms around the issues before they become problems, their chances of success increase exponentially. And that's really what SCORE is all about, helping small businesses get started, but also to grow over the long term. And when they run into an issue or a problem, depend on their brain trust and all their great experience to help people come out on the other side of it. And I think that that is critically important, especially now as we're going through this pandemic. We've heard statistics that are very troubling that show that we could lose as many as 25% of our small businesses in the next few months or in the next coming year. That would be devastating, not only to those small businesses, but to our economy. 25% of our small businesses would be close to 8 million companies, and we don't want that to happen. And so providing information and partners like SCORE and MatchPoint, we think is a critical way for us to combat that and to save more small businesses. And so I want to thank Bridget again for agreeing to be part of this. Bridget is a great leader. She's very much in demand. We were talking before. She's doing a lot of these webinars for not only her SCORE chapters, but organizations like Inc. Magazine and the U.S. Chamber and the SBA and NFIB and Thrive and many, many more. So we're very fortunate to have not only her expertise, but also the panelists that you're going to be introduced to. I used to tell people that if you had to pay for the information and the consulting that you're going to get for free, it would cost you thousands of dollars. And so for that and many other reasons, I want to thank the hardest working woman for small business, Bridget Weston, the CEO of SCORE. Thank you, Bridget, for being with us.
Hector, thank you so much. It is such a privilege to be here, to be partnered with you, the Latino Coalition, TLC MatchPoint. SCORE is so lucky to have a friend with you as this organization. And just knowing that our missions are so in line with supporting business owners through help, knowledge, information sharing, it's wonderful. So thank you so much for that. And I am thrilled to have our panelists today, who I will get to in a moment. But first, I do want to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit more about SCORE. Although, Hector, you did a phenomenal job. I need to bring you on as part of our marketing team. What's one of your side jobs or something. But let me just tell you a little bit about SCORE so that you all can understand what we're doing, what our mission, vision, goals are, and how we've achieved success through helping small business owners. As Hector mentioned, we are a resource partner of the U.S. Small Business Administration, and we have been around since 1964. Since our inception, SCORE mentors have helped over 11 million people in pursuit of their business. Our mission, fairly simple, to foster vibrant small business communities through mentoring and education. And our vision is that every person has the support necessary to thrive as a small business owner. We have several core values, but really what drives us is that our client, the small business owner or that person looking to start a business, their success is our success. So whatever you determine your success to be and what your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, SCORE is here to help you achieve that. And it's all for free. We help small businesses by providing free business advice and mentoring. There is no catch. There is no ulterior motive. We provide that free business mentoring through the life of your business. We do also offer free or low-cost business training. And then we have hundreds of templates, tools, and resources on our website. And this is all possible through the efforts of our volunteers nationwide. SCORE has over 10,000 volunteers serving more than 1,500 communities across the nation. And during COVID, SCORE was able to pivot, go online, and provide that mentoring and education through vehicles like Zoom, like Google Hangout, and make sure that we were there for the small business owners that needed us. Thanks to the SCORE mentors and volunteers, last year, SCORE helped those businesses by helping start nearly 30,000 new businesses, create over 97,000 new jobs, and help over 58,000 clients increase their revenue. It matters to us as a business organization to measure our bottom line, just like it does to any business owner. And these metrics are critical to making sure that we are providing value to the small business owners we serve. There are a lot of statistics on this slide. What I do want to hit on is that SCORE is here for anyone. Women, minority business owners, veterans, we are here to help, to provide support, whatever you need. And what we know is that mentoring works. Small business owners who have spent 3 or more hours with a mentor report higher revenues and an increase in business growth. So it works. And who do we serve? Everyone. We are dedicated to serving clients in diverse industries at every stage of business, whether you have an idea and you're just getting started writing on the back of a napkin, you're starting up and trying to stay open through those first 6 quarters. If you're an established business trying to take it to the next level, and frankly, even businesses today, we talked about, potentially 25% of small businesses closing. We are here to help you survive and thrive. One of the things we know is that small business owners and entrepreneurs are resilient, and we are here to help you tap into that, pivot, and figure out how to continue on and survive. So with that, thank you for indulging me and letting me share a little bit about SCORE and what we do. I am thrilled to introduce to you the people who really make SCORE who we are. We have on our panel today, first, a SCORE client and small business owner, Rosa Santana. Originally from Brazil, made with Mexican ingredients, Rosa Santana, Iyengar Yoga certified, has been studying, teaching, and propagating the therapeutic art of Iyengar Yoga since 1995. She was drawn to the mental and physical discipline after suffering 3 accidental falls, one of which fractured her tailbone. Since healing her back and neck pains, she has introduced yoga to thousands of students who had never experienced this healing art and science. In 2002, she founded Yogarosa, which has become a respected yoga studio in the classical teachings of Iyengar Yoga. She has hosted numerous internationally recognized teachers and continues to teach and mentor yoga students as well as yoga teachers. She travels to India regularly to study with her teachers and leads yoga retreats around the world. Rosa has presented the benefits of Iyengar Yoga as a guest lecturer at Nova Southeastern University, the National Multiple Sclerosis Society of South Florida and Puerto Rico, and the National Parkinson's Foundation. She leads Iyengar intensives in the US and internationally. She believes yoga is accessible, healing, and transformational to all who try it. And Rosa has been a SCORE client for nearly 9 years. Thank you so much, Rosa, for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Our next panelist is Hannah Fernandez. Hannah is the founder and CEO of ROI Business Funding, a Chicago-based company that funds startups and established small businesses across the United States and provides them with technical assistance to become fundable. She is a graduate of the University of Chicago and has more than a decade experience in startups, sales, marketing, funding, business planning, and management leadership. Hannah is also an amazing SCORE mentor. She is the first woman chair of SCORE Chicago and served as the chair of the National Latino Education Institute Business Leadership Council for over 3 years. She served on the City of Chicago Mayoral Business Council, Board of Directors of Mega Partnering and Top One Coaching, and she was also a member of the Young Entrepreneur Council. She is the strategic business funding expert at the Women's Leadership Live and a featured expert columnist in Where Women Create Work magazine. She is a sought-after speaker at business events, including Unstoppable Confidence, Women in Leadership, and SCORE and the SBA's Show Me the Money workshop, just to name a few. As the host of SCORE Chicago's Let's Talk Business show on CAN TV, Hannah interviews business experts and leaders to provide entrepreneurs with tips, insights, and resources to start, grow, and scale their businesses. As a result, she's a frequent guest on many media outlets. Not only is she a SCORE mentor, but as a former SCORE client, Hannah is driven to give back, mentor entrepreneurs, and empower small business owners in any way she can. Hannah, thanks for all that you do, and especially for being here today with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we are going to get into it. I have a few questions for both of you who have participated in the small business experience, and we want to help others, as Hector said, learn from each other and grow. So I'm going to start with you, Rosa. Rosa, what prompted you to seek a mentor? And was there a particular situation in your business that caused you to seek assistance?
Actually, I had never heard of SCORE, but I won a contest with the Miami Herald to have a makeover of your business. So I felt like I had just ended a partnership with a business partner that didn't work out. So I decided that I needed some direction because I was depressed, and I felt like, so I won this contest, and that's really kind of how it started. That was good luck.
Wonderful. Well, we are glad that you found us. Hannah, what is the most common challenge when you're talking with your clients that they are seeking help with when they come to SCORE? And what's some of the advice you give them for how to overcome that challenge?
So when aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners come to SCORE, their biggest challenge is they have a business idea, but they don't have a business plan. So when starting out, some entrepreneurs may not know exactly what is really involved in building that sustainable business, including creating a business plan, conducting market research, identifying their niche and ideal clients, and launching the effective marketing campaign, and also running their day-to-day operations. So many businesses fail, Bridget, because they did not fully consider their market demand and how feasible their ideas and business models are. So what I tell them is getting a SCORE mentor and really understanding these business fundamentals early is vital to their success. And having a mentor from the get-go can get the entrepreneurs up to speed, avoid these landmines, and really save them a lot of time, money, and headaches.
You are absolutely right. And you particularly are so fantastic at helping people avoid those pitfalls. So we are grateful to have you as part of our network. Thank you.
Of course.
Now, along those lines of mentoring and avoiding pitfalls, obviously there has been a transformational shift in how everything operates these days with the pandemic. So Hannah, I'll start with you with a question. With the pandemic, and SCORE had to completely stop its in-person interaction, both from mentoring and education. How have you found shifting to online mentoring, and how effective has it been for you as a mentor?
So although in-person events have been suspended since March, what my team and I have done really successfully is offering these mentoring via phone or video. And the blessing in disguise is we've already started training our staff and volunteers to use Zoom and leverage other technology months before the pandemic. And this is in our effort to make our services more accessible to clients. So we were actually ready for the shift. And in this challenging time, entrepreneurs are looking for trusted sources and just different ways to survive and thrive. So our team members really stepped up and worked even harder to show clients that we care and that they're not alone. So during the lockdown, we were still able to mentor over 500 business owners, and our webinars were well attended with over 1,000 attendees.
Wonderful, Hannah. And just as a follow-up question, how has that actual interaction been with a client? Has it been, have you found that you are as successful in engaging and learning and connecting with them?
Absolutely. It's really all about being adaptable to your clients. So even though you're not, you're losing that face-to-face impact and contact, you still have to go ahead and get their emotional buy-in and somehow show through asking questions and really intently listening to them to show them that, hey, I am here for you and this is all about you. Definitely make it all about them.
Wonderful. And that is true. Our client success is our success. It is all about the small business owner. So fantastic. Now, Rosa, you obviously had stumbled upon SCORE, but have been working with SCORE ever since for nearly 10 years. And owning a yoga studio, I would imagine that your business was significantly impacted due to the pandemic. So can you talk a little bit about what that impact was to your business and how working with a SCORE mentor prepared you and helped you adapt to the changing work environment due to the pandemic?
I think that it was really, really important for my mental health to have some support. I actually, when I closed my studio, it was a brick and mortar, and I've had this, yoga therapy thing going on that I was teaching, and I had to just do it all online. And within 1 week, I got it all online, and I felt like I was, figuring out how to use Zoom, and I was taking actually some webinars on the SCORE websites, and I was really happy that I could just do it online and not have to go somewhere, because then my schedule was just so much easier. And I felt like once I got things going, I was running into some problems with managing my team, and I couldn't get everybody to learn how to use Zoom within 1 week, but I had like my superstars that just got it right in there right away. And so I contacted another mentor, and he just gave me really great advice. He was like, whatever problems you were having before this whole situation now are going to be magnified. So now you can really see the truth. And it was really helpful because he guided me, and he said, okay, you got to, record all your classes and do this and do this and do this. And he guided me through the whole process of the CARES Act. And, I just felt like I had a friend that was like an uncle that was telling me, okay, I'm going to hold your hand, and you're going to do this, and we're going to get through this, and you can do this. It was almost like having my own cheerleader. And that made all the difference when I was just like ready to just give it all up.
That's wonderful. And you had mentioned in preparing for this webinar that you also shared that information with other yoga studio owners and instructors. Can you talk a little bit about what advice you have for fellow small business owners, especially these days?
Well, I felt that being in the yoga world, the first thing that I thought, oh my God, I have to close my studio. And I started contacting all my fellow studio owners who are also business entrepreneurs. And a lot of them were like, they didn't really know what was going on, and they were kind of lost. So I felt like whether they, followed and listened to the webinars or they did anything, I just kind of created a whole group of, okay, this is what's out there, and it's free, and you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to listen to me because, sometimes we can get a little competitive with other business people, but I felt like, I don't want the yoga studios to go away, because this is when we need them the most. People are freaking out and stressed out. So we have to work out a way where everybody can learn. And we have to, I think that even just as a society right now, we all have to work together and help each other. And so giving them advice, I was very excited to hear, when they call me back, they're like, oh, I got my own mentor now. And they're so excited about it, because we have mentors in yoga. We have our teachers that teach us. I go to India to see my mentors in India. And so why not in your business? And it makes all the difference, because it's a lonely world being a business owner and an entrepreneur. And sometimes, you don't want to be telling your problems to your family and your family partnerships. But having somebody that can be detached from the emotional of, oh, this is my baby, this business, and they can just give you, okay, this is what you got to do. This is where to go, or at least to look or to research. And you're just not just, there depressed with your, with all your problems on your shoulders.
That is amazing. I'm so glad that not only, did you know to reach out to SCORE and use them to help you navigate this time, but also that you were willing to work together and collaborate. And like you said, we are all in this together, and we working together can do a lot of good. I really appreciate that. And, we talked about this before too, but I hope that one day you will consider becoming a SCORE mentor as well, with all of your knowledge and practical experience. Along those lines, Hannah, you've been a SCORE mentor successfully, not just with SCORE, but mentoring other businesses. What makes a great business mentor?
Great mentors focus on transforming the whole person and not just the business model. So this holistic approach definitely will take a lot more time, thought, and effort, but it is definitely dramatically more effective. So what we have to remember is when clients see mentors, especially for the first time, some of them may feel really vulnerable and they may be struggling with fear and self-doubt. So for instance, I had a client who came to our office before lockdown, and she's from the west side of Chicago. And as she and I were approaching the cubicle, she said she was really nervous. And she shared, I don't even know what I'm doing here. I don't know anything about business. I just have a good idea. And I told her, you know what? You came to the right place. That's what we're here for. In fact, I commend you for having that courage to seek help and mentoring, because it's really hard to know who to trust. And a great mentor will tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And great mentors know firsthand really the ups and downs of getting a business off the ground. And they're also very skilled at asking great questions and really probing, listening very carefully, and tailoring their approach based on that client's needs. And that really puts them in this ideal situation and position to really help that client create that roadmap and even overcome unexpected challenges by providing just the right strategies, insights, and also resources.
Excellent. I think we probably will take that part of the recording and use it as one of our ads for recruiting SCORE mentors. I think you said it beautifully. Thank you. So now the questions that I have, and these are for both of you, but Hannah, I'll start with you. What has been the biggest benefit of mentoring? First for you, Rosa, and then Hannah. And what advice do you have for small businesses considering reaching out to a mentor? So Rosa, we'll start with you.
I think that the most important thing that I learned, thanks to this contest, was that having a mentor makes all the difference in really looking at your business truthfully. Because as a person that had absolutely no business experience, I was a stay-at-home mom who decided, I'm going to open a yoga studio because I want to, it's a good thing to do. I really didn't have any business. And somehow, my studio has continued to survive almost 20 years. But a mentor without, like I said before, without any emotion can just say, this is what's missing. And if you're really open to being honest with yourself and sharing that honesty with somebody, that is there in your best interest, and that they can say, you can't see this. So they can help you and guide you in the areas that maybe you're not so good at. Like I learned from my mentor that I was trying to do everything because I'm a control freak and I'm a perfectionist and nobody else could do it as perfectly as I could. So the mentors, actually, I had 3 mentors, and they helped me to see that I needed to step back and delegate. And it was so hard to do, but I did it by going away to India for 2 months. And my business did great while I was gone. And it turned out that my team could run the studio better than I could. So then I realized, oh my God, they're right.
Well, I think it is certainly a common trait for many entrepreneurs and small business owners, that desire to control and get things perfect. And I believe, or at least I tell myself as a fellow control freak, that it comes from a good place of wanting to do good and help. And yes, when we step away, we do see that, things can still run without us, but it's because you had the mentor and the confidence and that you put in the work to make sure that it could. So really, really great answer and great story. Hannah, what about you? What advice do you have for those looking to get a mentor, and what advice would you give in general?
So being an entrepreneur is so exhilarating and exciting, but it can also be daunting and lonely at times. So I'm a big believer in the power of mentoring. I've had several mentors over the years, and I've gained so many valuable insights and lessons from every single one of them, from building that really strong business foundation to making the most effective business decision, to also them being brutally honest with me and thus having me avoid these really costly mistakes. So the bottom line is having mentors is priceless. And I wouldn't be where I am right now without them, because the mentors really hold you accountable to your goals. And in the process, you evolve into this bigger, better version of yourself. And you are never the same. So my advice to you business owners is, if you're considering a mentoring relationship, definitely go for it. These are your taxpayers' dollars at work. So take advantage of these free resources. Our mentors have been there, they've done that, they've seen it all. So they definitely can increase the likelihood of you succeeding. And you don't have to go alone on this journey of entrepreneurship, because there's so many SCORE mentors and other resources to support you. Then maybe when you achieve your own success, you can pay it forward and become a mentor yourself, so that you can empower our next generation of entrepreneurs. Because when businesses succeed, they create jobs and our communities also thrive.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Hannah and Rosa. Cece, I think I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Bridget, and thank you, Rosa and Hannah. Those are great answers, and I think with realistic takeaways for everybody in our audience to be able to hopefully put into practice. I could relate as a small business owner myself to a couple of the points that you hit on. One was delegation, learning how to trust your people and delegate. And sometimes you do need a mentor or someone that is removed, to help you and help you see that you need to be able to step away and delegate. And the other thing I've learned too is sometimes mentors come in strange packages. In other words, they may not be somebody that you would picture traditionally as a mentor, but so don't overlook, folks that, that might even be in your backyard, just because they might be very different from you, but they might have some additional business insight that you would have never thought about. One question we want to move into a question and answer with our participants on Zoom. I'm sure that many of them are small business owners, and they might have some questions or some topics that they're struggling with as it relates to this. But one I have ready for you is with the COVID environment that we're living in now. I mean, it's had to force many businesses to pivot, reinvent themselves. How is SCORE prepared, or how have they been able to pivot themselves to be able to offer services now, virtually, to the benefit of both the mentee and a mentor?
Thank you so much for asking that, Cece. I'll start, and then Hannah and Rosa, you can share your real life experience from the mentor-mentee level as well. Like any business, we had to stop our in-person operations pretty much immediately once it was apparent that that was the best thing to do. And of course, the safety and health of our clients, our volunteers, and our staff come first. And as Hannah had mentioned, the great thing is that SCORE had been doing what we recommend our small business owners to do, which is look at the environment, look at the trends, see what you can do to help your business remain relevant. And one of those things is we want to be accessible to small business owners. It's not easy to leave your business and go to a different location to meet with a mentor and drive, park, whatever that would be, especially during the day. So one of the things we had been focused on and investing in is this virtual connection, so that entrepreneurs, small business owners are able to meet with any mentor that's available to them through phone, email, or video communication. And that has really been working. Our services are up 50% since COVID hit, which on the one hand tells a story about how many small business owners are in trouble, but on the other hand shows that SCORE is a resource that is available and ready to help those small businesses. The other thing we've done is put together the Small Business Resilience Center, which pulls information, resources from our partners, so grants that are available, loan information, and other specific content to help businesses navigate this. That is paired with what we call our real-time mentoring platform. So Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 5, you can go on and live chat with a mentor to ask a question and be pointed in the right direction, whether it is a more in-depth one-on-one session with a mentor, or a resiliency checklist of how to make sure I can open my business safely. Those are the types of things. And really, it's driven by our desire to make sure that we are responding to the small business owner needs. Hannah, you had mentioned, that you were focused on this from a video mentoring perspective. Anything else you've done in Chicago that you want to talk about in terms of how SCORE has responded to COVID?
One of the things that we did in Chicago is we reached out to a lot of our resource partners. So from the SBA to the City of Chicago Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, what we did was we rallied our resources and we collaborated so that we created some webinars to be able to go ahead. For example, at the City of Chicago, we did a startup webinar series from May, June, and July. And the first webinar is really starting if a business owner has an idea and they're trying to assess whether, one, they have what it takes to be an entrepreneur, or is their idea feasible to begin with. That's the webinar that we kicked off the series with. The second is, now that you know you got what it takes, you have a good business idea, now let's go ahead and create a business plan to make that happen. And the third one is, well, now that you're done with the business plan, let's figure out different funding sources to make that dream happen. And so that, Bridget, was so successful. At every single webinar during the series, we had over 500 registrants. And every single time, we had at least half of them join. So we had about, on average, about 250 to 300 people attending.
That's amazing. Awesome, Hannah. I think it's important that small business owners hear that SCORE implements the resources and recommendations that we ourselves talk about with our clients, for sure. Rosa, you talked a lot about that, how you pivoted during COVID. Anything else that you want to share to Cece's question?
I think that for me also, being able to listen to the webinars on, local things like what to do when you're ready to reopen, just watching things like that this is like a new situation for all of us, but listening to how the restaurant was going to be putting signs everywhere, and then there's attorneys telling you like this other perspective, you just get a much broader perspective of the whole picture, and then guidance as to how to structure what you have to do. So I have a bunch of notes when I do reopen, all the things that I have to do, just in a really easy and accessible and understandable manner, that I know that I can ask a question, directly and get an answer from someone, that I'm not just here, looking at a screen for some people that are somewhere else.
Excellent. Well, I have another question. And this is, when you sign up for a mentor from SCORE, how are they assigned to you? Are they typically aligned with your business? And can you get more than one?
Great question, Cece. I'm really glad you asked, because again, what we want is people to take away actionable things that they can do after this webinar. So there are several ways that you can find the right mentor for you. Right now, we have thousands of our SCORE mentor profiles available on score.org. So if you go on, you can search by location, you can search by business that they've been in, business industry, or you can search by business topic. So if you're really focused on your financial aspect of your business or marketing, you can find experts in those areas. And then you can simply request that person. That's the one way. The other way is, as Hannah mentioned, sometimes there's so much going on, or there's so many questions, you're not really sure where to start. And so you might not have one particular question, you might have a broad array of questions. Then your best bet is to reach out to your local SCORE chapter and tell them where you are, what you're thinking, and they will pair you with the mentor that best fits where you are. The other great thing about SCORE is that we are this nationwide network of volunteers. So your question one day might be best for Hannah, but 2 years down the road, it might be best for Hannah to bring in Rosa to answer some other questions. And that's what's great about SCORE, is that we're all connected, we use the same resources, and we are committed to making sure that you, the small business owner, has the right resource, the right mentor at any given time in your journey.
I have another question. One is and you kind of touched on that about it being a national network, which is great. What if there's not a SCORE chapter in your city, and you still want to be paired with the mentor? And I think that along that same vein is, what if I am looking for a specific expertise and that's not available in my local chapter?
Great questions. So one of the great things is well, not great, but a silver lining of COVID is that everyone has gone online and moved virtual. So while there might not be a SCORE chapter in your specific town or location, we would encourage you to go to score.org and look at those mentor profiles and connect with someone electronically, whether it is email, phone, or video. That's a great way to get started. And then that person can, again, direct you to other resources that would be best available to you to supplement that mentoring. In terms of the second part of your question, well, so now I've lost my train of thought. I apologize. But the question was about if there's not a mentor in your area, what can you do? But then what was the second part of your question?
If there's not a specific expertise that you're searching for, it's, I don't know.
No. Perfect. So it's a great question. My first answer is, with 10,000 volunteers, we have someone in that area. There's an example that we've always used with someone was looking for a business of fitting shoes to horses, and we actually had a volunteer who was in that business themselves. Oh, wow. So that's how specific we can get with our volunteer mentors. Mm-hmm. However, our goal, again, with our client success being our success, is sometimes there might not be a SCORE mentor in our network with that expertise. And that's why partnerships are so important. SCORE chapters regularly partner with SBA district offices, women business centers, small business development centers, and various other organizations. So if that SCORE chapter did not have the specific expertise that you needed, we would make sure and be committed to finding you the right resource, even if it's not in the SCORE network. And then we would check in with you and say, how is this going? We're still here to help. Is there something else that you need or can help you in your business journey? Hannah, did you want to add anything? You've been there, you've done this, you've seen the various connections and questions that come in.
You've said it perfectly. Bottom line is, if you're seeing a mentor who don't have the expertise you're looking for, we're also strong believers of teamwork and co-mentoring sessions. So like you said, Bridget, if I was mentoring somebody and they come in, let's say with a manufacturing question in which I had no experience, I could go ahead and pull in another SCORE mentor and help me with that. And there's been times when we've been in the office and a SCORE client is asking, let's say, for government contracting, and a couple of the people in the SBA, because we share the same office, will just sit in with us and actually mentor that client alongside us. So definitely, as you said, partnerships and teamwork are extremely important.
Actually, that was my next question, because with MatchPoint, our goal is to match small business owners with potential contract opportunities, whether it's from corporate procurement or government procurement. And so they potentially could dig down. You could help them. SCORE could help them for mentors that have procurement expertise, or small businesses that have gone through the certification process. I mean, is there is that another way you would partner with the SBA then, or?
Both, actually. So we do have SCORE volunteer mentors who have that specific government contracting procurement expertise. And so they can help you with that, with getting certified, with understanding the ins and outs of the bidding process and procurement process. And then, of course, yes, because we are a resource partner of the SBA, as Hannah said, we have those connections locally and also across the nation at the national level. So we've had chapters reach out to us and say, I have this business, they're looking for a connection at the SBA, can you help? And so we will use our connections to make sure that at least we move things along. Of course, there are no guarantees, as Hector said in the beginning, with what happens after that, but Our goal is to just connect the small business owner with the best resource that we have available. And that's a big one. And that's something that not only do we want to continue to focus on from the small business owner perspective, but if there are people associated with TLC MatchPoint and the Latino Coalition who are willing and able to help other small business owners, let us know. We'd love to bring you on as a subject matter expert volunteer with the SCORE organization too.
Excellent. Well, I believe that wraps up our questions. So, Bridget, would you have any closing remarks?
Well, I just want to say first, thank you so much to Rosa and Hannah for joining us today. It was so great to hear from both of you with your experience, your stories, and you really made SCORE real in terms of how it works from a day-to-day operation. So thank you both. Cece, Hector, thank you so much for inviting SCORE to participate. It is truly a pleasure to be able to share SCORE's story and to be a true partner in helping business owners across the country. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Bridget, Hannah, and Rosa, once again for a great presentation about such an important topic. I encourage everyone to log onto the SCORE website and check out all the options in your area about the benefits of mentoring, and to dig a little deeper in all the subject matter expertise we heard today. TLC MatchPoint, we are committed to continue to provide useful content that you can use in your small businesses every day, and we will continually add and work with corporate partners and government partners such like SCORE to actively search, and for our vendors too, to not only help them with contract information and opportunities, but to also provide useful information. Additionally, we are working to bring more benefits to subscribers over the next few months, designed to offer savings and complimentary services to small business owners. So remember, once again, you need to go and log into MatchPoint if you haven't already done so, and to create a user profile so our procurement partners can find you for the contract opportunities that they are looking to fill. We are excited to announce our next webinar. It's scheduled for August 20th. We will hear from Jeanette Hernandez-Pringer, who will moderate a panel regarding procurement, and we will have featured 2 procurement corporate representatives for the discussion about the 3 must-dos to submit a more effective RFP or RFQ. So we're looking forward to that presentation, and we will be sending out information with the link to this webinar as well as our previous one, and general information about the webinar coming up on the 20th. And you can also contact us at TLC. We will post information to you on how you can do that to our MatchPoint coordinator, and we can help you again work through navigating the site and registering on the MatchPoint portal. So thank you for tuning in. Stay well and safe, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.